Hi, this is Cris Meadows, and welcome to Let's Talk About It, hosted by Harvest Girls International Incorporated. Let's Talk About It is a show that we put together for women to tell their stories. We believe that power is in the stories. Every woman has a story. And so today we have an awesome woman with us that I've been trying to get on here to do this for a while, but she is so busy, but we see her a lot on Facebook. Let me tell you about Dora Sanders Hill. She is a mother, grandmother, she's an entrepreneur, she's a minister, ordained minister, she's a chef, she's a certified chef, she is a caterer, has started a bed and breakfast, and she and her husband have done so many amazing things. She's a facilitator, a conference host. I know you're saying, wow, that's a lot, but yes, she has done it all and then some. That's just to name a few. I am so excited to introduce to you today, and I want you to go get your pen and your paper, because guarantee you she's going to leave you with some nuggets that you're going to be able to use to empower your own life. So without any further ado, I introduce to you Dr. Dora Sanders Hill. Welcome, Dora.
Oh, hi, Cris.
It's so good to have you, and I'm
Oh, it's
so
a joy.
excited. And you're so busy, and anybody that watches you on Facebook, we love watching those wonderful, fabulous dishes that you present to us. And what I love about everything about you is so elegant and poised, and everything that you present is on china and glasses. And you're teaching us, as we're looking at you on Facebook, how to up our game and how to live that queenly life. And we're just so excited about you. Tell us, who is Dora Sanders?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you so much, you and the Harvest Girls organization, Harvest Girls International, for inviting me. You know, I'm a, if I thought of one word, it would be servant. Um, I like that as my focal point for my identity and how I move about in the earth. And I'm glad I'm listening to you introduce me and talking about some of the lessons and just how to up our game and some of the things, because, this life is for living. We can get caught up in the humdrum and the rat race of it all. But we live in one of the most blessed countries in the world, Cris. And God has done so much, not only for America, but for each of us. So for me, when I think about my identity and who I am, I'm a grateful servant.
Yes.
So grateful. And the gratitude has to be part of the identity, because you talked about all I was doing. You said it was a lot.
Yes.
And it is a lot, but I'm built for this.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I'm speaking who I am. I'm built for this. But I look at everything that you do, and I'm overwhelmed with the magnitude of work that you do. But you are built for this.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if we, as women and then mentors and teachers, can empower those coming behind us and those watching us to know that they are built for this. If you lean into your identity,
Yeah,
and if you go with the flow of your gifts and your passions, you will have success, because you are in your lane. You are doing what God created you to do. And I think above everything else, I'm a teacher, so automatically that's where I'm immediately start teaching, forgetting about anything else, but taking advantage of this opportunity to empower. And I just want to say to all the women everywhere listening, you're enough. No, let me change that. You're more than enough. Whatever the assignment is, whatever the passion and the call, something burns inside of us. Those of us who are doing what seems to be a lot to the world, we are really just right there in our wheelhouse. And I think that kind of starts it off as far as who I am. I'm somebody that is created by God with a purpose, and I'm passionate about that purpose. And I think all of us have to embrace that identity, whether it's me, you, or many of the thousands of women who will hear this tape. Lean into who you are and then just finesse it to the glory of God. Because all,
Amen.
all I'm doing is cooking and serving people.
But it's amazing. But you know, what I love about this is who Dora is. I said, who is Dora? And you immediately knew who that person is.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are so many women that we impact at Harvest Girls International that they could not answer that question because they still are trying to figure out who they are and what their identity is. This is why these kind of shows are so important, so that we can use our own life as let them have stepping stones to their purpose from what we have already been through. This just started me off. I started taking notes when you were writing. I had to start talking about some things. And then I said, well, let me take notes too. I'm telling everybody else to. I wanted to know, like we talked about stories, you know, and we say everybody has stories. What story can you tell us about your life, whatever you choose, that maybe changed or shifted you to know who Dora really is, or have you always known?
Well, I think as each of us, when we come into this world, we come with our own individual identities. And once we get here, we are literally diluted with the ideologies of our parents, of our communities, of our culture. Mm-hmm. We are guided and shaped more than we are encouraged. And that's why I think a lot of women struggle with their identity, because we've been shaped and directed and molded into a category and a place that maybe was not the best for us. So we think less of who we are because of the environment and the culture. And I think my story is one of growing up in a family of 9. I'm one of 7 siblings, and I was in the middle. So my identity was really getting smothered. The older children, they were starting and doing and going in their paths. And then the younger ones needed so much attention. And so here I am in the middle saying, what about me? What about me? And so I had to push in to Dora. I had to, and so it always seemed like rebellion for anybody that's growing and nurturing what you think is a rebellious child. Maybe take another look at that child and see what is this energy that they are exuding? Is it rebellion, or is it creativity? Is it passion? Is it power in a certain area that maybe is being overlooked? And so for me, I love to have a conversation. I was always talking when I shouldn't be talking, but there was also some confidence that was building in my communication. So my story is one of embracing Dora early on, because otherwise, being from a family of 7, who Dora is could have gotten lost. And so my story is one of courage. It's one of fearlessness. It's believing in who I am, even when there wasn't a cheering section.
Yeah.
Wow. I know, if anybody that has emerged into their own confidence and presence, you had to come through the fire.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Because it was the highs and the lows of, am I too much? Am I not enough?
Yeah.
Should I lean this way a little more? Should I go this way? Until I just said, God, who are you in me?
Yeah.
Let me start there. Let me take what your word says about how you've created us and how fearfully and wonderfully we're made, and also the purpose that you've given each of us, signified by our fingerprints. let me see what you say about Dora. And so I'm somebody that I got saved at 25, even though my dad was a pastor for many years. I was raised in a Christian home, and my dad was a pastor. So we had all the teaching that you could imagine, but it was only when I became a young adult that I knew I needed that faith and power and reassurance for life for myself. So from that journey, it brought me here. And I've evolved over the years. I tell people all the time, don't be afraid to change. You know, even if you love to do something, if it's not working for you right now, work what works.
I
Okay.
agree.
Work
I
what works.
agree.
You
Yeah.
don't have to walk away from your passion.
Hmm.
You mentioned the bed and breakfast, and it's something I've literally been ruminating and marinating, I should say, in my spirit for over 20 years, collecting china, loving to serve, hosting people in my home, always, even growing up as a young woman. I was always the host of the Thanksgiving dinners, the Christmas parties, the
Yeah.
4th of July barbecues. I just loved seeing people have a good time. I had an opportunity to be exposed to elegance and ambience and a prosperous way of living when I was a chef for a gentleman named Jim Kittle of the Kittle Furniture Stores. Just being in that environment and just looking around and thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. But it married well with the training I had got from my family. Even though we were not wealthy, my mother had a standard of living that she imputed to us. And so those two together, and wanting to expose others to that. I think a lot of things, I always say, it's not taught until it's caught. Some things we just haven't had an opportunity to be exposed to, and learning how to do certain things. We have been in this place of on the outside looking in. And so now for me to be able to teach and train people how to host and have gatherings and how to just use this as a vehicle to love people.
Yeah.
It goes well with my women's ministry, with my evangelistic ministry. When people come to the sanctuary, we don't Jesus, churchy them. It is an atmosphere of peace and safety, and it's welcoming. It's a no judgment zone. So people come here and they feel that. And it is, to me, what the love of God feels like.
Yes.
And so all of these steps in my life have brought me to today. But one thing I do want to say to the ladies, and also to you as well, everything works for your good. You know, everything. I don't, the last 2 years have been particularly challenging, as not just myself, with everybody, but I have my own story to tell with that, even from my own personal standpoint. In 28 years of marriage, the last 2 years were the most challenging that Ed and I had ever been through because of some situations he was dealing with. It brought it all to a head. This COVID shut-in thing brought it all to a head. My own insecurities and my own needs. I was sitting at this shut-in time, really looking back at my life and saying, wow, is this how it ends? Is this where I'm going to be? I've done a lot of things, but I'm not done yet. And I had to fight for Dora. And I had to put it all on the line. I mean, I'm talking about my children, my marriage, my home. You know, I kept saying, I know what God showed me. And so you got to fight for that vision. Yes. And everything that works will work. Yeah. You got to, I mean, I was willing to give it all up so that I could become who God created Dora to be. Yes. Because whoever God created me to be, those that he created to walk alongside of me would fit. And so I would encourage everyone. This is just part of my story. I apologize for that. This is just part of my story, but my story is not even as important as the stories of each of those who are listening. I want to encourage you in your story, not to give up, not to quit. Know what God showed you. What did he say? What does that passion feel like when it's culminated? When I saw this property, Cris, it's 5 beautiful acres that backs up to the Huron River. When I saw it, I had seen it before. I knew this was it. This was a dream that God had shown me, but I had to fight for it.
Yeah.
I had to press into it. I won't get into the, as they say, the nitty gritty of all of it. But let me say this: any alpha woman knows you gotta kick over.
Oh yeah, yeah.
People are gonna understand you.
Mhm.
They're gonna mislabel you. They're gonna criticize you. I had a lady to tell me, and this was a professional, because as I'm putting everything together, we all need mentors. We all need people to
Right.
help us along the way. So I reached out to this organization, which I'm not even going to call the name because they are a good organization. I've used them before. They're nationwide, that undergird and help entrepreneurs in certain areas. And so I was needing some help because I was dealing with my township, which wasn't, I am the first. Sometimes when you're the first, you talk about putting your dukes up.
Yeah.
For what you believe and what God has shown you. I am the first. We are the first. My husband, myself, we are the first bed and breakfast in Flat Rock, Michigan. And so
Wow.
I didn't know at the time, the significance of that.
Yeah.
But I had to deal with the township and those saying, no, you can't do that. No, you can't. I kept saying, yes, I can. Yes, I can. I would say always, before any endeavor, do your own research, do your own due diligence. Make sure as you're pressing in, as you're fighting, you know what you're fighting for, so that you're not boxing the wind, that you are making effective blows in what you're trying to accomplish. And I had a lady to tell me when I was reaching out to get some help on how to deal with the township and how to present before the planning committee, the zoning committee. She was so negative. She said, why would anybody come to a bed and breakfast in Flat Rock? Why would anybody stay there? What is it, Flat Rock, Michigan? And I was taken aback by that answer, by that question, because I recognize the significance of one not being here to some degree, but not really understanding the measure of what I was embarking on. When she said that to me, she just started layering things, the reasons why people would not come here. And my greatest reason why people would come is because this is the gift, the vision, the plan, and the purpose that God had showed. So even when everyone, those who should be knowledgeable, if you seek counsel, do not let that counsel overshadow what God has said. He didn't tell it to them, he told it to you. And you have to have confidence in that. He looks for you to lean in and do some make some radical steps toward that vision. If you do that, you will chip a hole in the negative energy, and all of a sudden daylight will break through and you'll be like, this is what he said. This is it. Now I see it. And that internal energy will begin to take you where you need.
Well, I just want to jump in, Dora. You're teaching me so much, and this is so good, because I want to talk a little bit about the brand Mama Dora.
Yeah.
You were on the Food Network. For many who know or don't know, she was on the Food Network as one of the chefs on the Food Network. And you did that. Just a beautiful meals. I often roll that back and look at the reruns sometimes. But now that you're in Flat Rock, Mama Dora has taken off. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's as they say about many things, it's a blessing and sometimes a curse, in quotes, because we're blessed, so we know we're not cursed. But just the challenges that go along with it. And, you know, Bishop Benjamin said something that he says many things that you never forget. But one thing
Absolutely.
he said that I love and I hold in my heart because it has been a game changer for me. And he said, you can't chase two rabbits. He says, you're going to lose one if you chase two. And so the brand Mama Dora has, it's taken off here. This will be, I haven't even really put it out there, but this will be the first Thanksgiving that I won't be making a trip to Indianapolis to do a pop-up, simply because I had to decide which rabbit to chase. And when you're doing what God created you to do, and what is your now, because He's created us to do a lot of things. So I do want to say that don't wait until you get to perfect to do something.
Yes.
It's always going to have some glitches, and you may do one or two things at the same time, but you will come to a crossroad where you have to refine the brand, and you have to find, and that'll probably be ongoing. Even as we see with people that are way more brand knowledgeable and brand have a recognized brand than myself, some of the people that you could just drop a name, Oprah, Tyler, Steve Harvey, all of those people, we've seen them evolve over the years. So we're never going to just show up and arrive. The brand has a life of its own. And so one thing I tell people about their brand, right now I'm doing some things with Texas Roadhouse. I just showed up as Mama Dora, and Texas Roadhouse met me where I was. I was at the Taste of Brownstown, and I was at the Flat Rock Taste, and but I first met her in Brownstown, the marketing manager for Texas Roadhouse, and she said, you and I need to collaborate. So when a marketing manager of a brand of that caliber sees something in you that could benefit them, then that's where you have these marriages. So that's been wonderful, and it's been exciting because it has been a vehicle to give me more exposure as far as what I'm doing here. And then we have the bed and breakfast. So with branding, what I wanted to say is be who you are and lean into that. If you are into fashion and design, always show up as that brand. If you're into remodeling, decorating, if you're a builder, wherever you are, lean into that. Let that be what you lead with in every conversation. There's nowhere I don't go where I'm not only Mama Dora, but I'm promoting Mama Dora's brands. Hi, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. Did you know that I opened the only bed and breakfast in Flat Rock, Michigan? That's how quick I am to follow up.
Yes.
Information.
Yes.
And so, but that branding piece, you talk to so many girls, Cris. I want to say this. I know you're going to jump in again, but I want to say this: when you're dealing with these young girls, have them start branding early. Their fearlessness, their confidence. Have them start leaning in to who they are early. Oh, I'm sorry, just knocked my cup of coffee there. Have them start leaning in to who they are early, so that they can get comfortable with being who they are, so that everything that they're going to do in the future is going to revolve around who they are. And so they can have a product, but that product, the branding of it is going to depend on the energy that they exude.
Absolutely, yes.
That's going to be key. Anybody that's talking about branding, don't try to be someone that you're not. That brand then becomes something you got to work with. And this is me. This is it. I'm Mama Dora. I talk too much. I teach in every occasion, and my energy is through the roof most times. But it's beneficial because I only try to be me. I'm not trying to be what I haven't researched and what I haven't talked about, where I haven't tried and failed. I'm an expert at what I'm doing, but each of us have that same can have that same confidence, because we're all individually and uniquely designed.
Yes, exactly. And I also want to say, as we wind down, and we can do a part two. We can always come back because you are so full of knowledge. Matter of fact, not just a part two. We can actually host a workshop, virtual, and have you to come in. As a matter of fact, for all of you who may not know, Dora did while we were down in pandemic, she did a Zoom for Harvest Girls, teaching us to how to cook a soul meal healthy. And women ran out after that Zoom and made that meal, and they told me that it was delicious, and you made everything look beautiful, and you just encouraged us. And she dropped little nuggets on us as she was cooking. She was teaching and telling us things that we needed to hold dear to our hearts. And so this is what I wanted Dora, you to leave them with. What can you tell the women that will sustain them? Something that whether they know who they are, they don't know who they are, whether they're trying to find their space, trying to brand themselves, what can sustain them? With everybody or anybody?
Well, let me say this. I can only speak on what I know.
Absolutely.
And so the thing that has sustained me, and I want to put it out there for general consumption, and then I'm going to kind of water it down so everybody can find their place in it.
Okay.
The thing that sustained me was the love of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Now, okay. So maybe everybody doesn't believe in Jesus, but here's what I want you to believe in. I want you to believe that you are loved. Mm-hmm. That there is a power and a force in this universe that is working on your behalf. Everything is not working against you, it's working for you. The fact that we are here, I often think about the element of conception. You know, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of sperms that are released that challenge each other for life. Mm-hmm. Call it sperm, call it DNA. Mine won. Yours won.
Yes.
We came through the fight.
Yes.
Life. Before we were born, we were fighters. We challenged what at that time was our world, trying to find this path. And we arrived and we made it. And we are here. And everything in the universe is supporting us. But more than that, Jesus loves us. And when you're down at your lowest and you're thinking, why and what is this all about? Know that something is working that you can't see.
That's right.
Something is pushing behind you, getting you to where you need to be. And if you will just get up every time you fall down.
Yes.
No matter how tired you are, if you will rest for a moment and then get up and try again, I guarantee you won't see the end before you see the success that God has promised you, as long as you don't quit. Yeah. Go with the love of Jesus and don't quit.
Yeah. Dora, I just have to ask you one last thing, and this was on my list, and you touched it, but I wanted to go a little deeper just for the women. When you came to Harvest Girls by Zoom and you spoke to us and you just blessed us. So the one thing that blessed us beyond, I heard so many women repeat it, was you talked about fingerprints.
Oh my.
And DNA. Just give us just a little bit about the fingerprints.
This is key to the love that you embrace. Every time you wonder, just look at your hands, your fingerprints. If you were just the status quo, mediocre, that'll do, God would never have marked you. He put fingerprints on all of us so that we would know that there is no one in the world like us. When we're wondering why we don't fit, when we're wondering why we're not easily understood, when we're wondering why we dream so big and we have so many things that we're trying to accomplish, just look at your fingerprints. God has said, this person is going to do phenomenal things and I'm going to track them. Everywhere they put their hands, I'm going to be able to see what they're doing. And so my fingerprints for me are the identity that says I'm okay. I
Yeah.
got purpose and it's going to be all right.
Yes. Yes. Woo, this has been I hate for it to end, but like I said, we're going to feed them a little bit. They can find, we're going to leave in the description box all of your information,
Okay,
where they
great.
can find you on
Yes,
social media, where they can go on Expedia and different places and get to your bed and breakfast. You don't want to
yes.
miss staying there. If it weren't for the fact we were under a time constraint, Harvest Girls was going to do our retreat there.
Well, we still have to
We were,
plan one.
yeah, we're going to still do it. And I mean, I've seen you fish, catch the fish, clean the fish, and fry the fish. And I've seen the people just enjoy the
Oh,
meals and just
my.
the beautiful decorations and how you just laid it all out, and everything is just so beautiful and so
Thank you so
elegant.
much.
And it's just a wonderful thing to see what you're doing, because it encourages me and other women. And the one thing that I want to leave with, when you talked about identity and gratitude, because we're in a season of, people say we're in a season of gratitude, but we're in a season of gratitude every day of our lives.
Yes,
Just
yes.
leave us with something about gratitude, and then we're going to close it out. And
Mhm.
then I'm going to leave all the information in the description box below. And then we're going to come back a little bit later and
Okay,
plan a Zoom so that we
okay.
go ahead and get the ladies in there so they can get more of you, Mama Dora. I don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to let you be Dora, but gratitude.
Oh,
Tell us about that.
gratitude is your secret weapon.
I like that.
It is your secret weapon
Yes.
of times of hardship and disappointment. And I mean, this is gratitude is a thing that's like your lifeline that pulls you up, that helps you get out of that funk, because there's so many things that are going wrong when you are moving and trying to create and making things happen. And we understand it's in God's time and that we depend on him. But as human beings, we can be impatient. And that can also be a blessing blocker, because we won't wait for God to do what he's doing. But that gratitude will give you a moment to pause, look around, and see all that he is doing. You know, when I was at my lowest, and just whining and complaining to God about, even after we had made it here to the bed and breakfast, and we were working through some personal issues, and I was telling God about my husband and all of this and all of that. And God said, but look around, stop complaining. All that you say you've been through over 28 years, this, that, this, and that. But look at where you are now.
Yeah.
So are you going to stay stuck there, or are you going to move forward in the blessing that I've given you? So I had to repent.
Yes.
I had to say, God, I'm sorry. Look at where I am now.
Yes.
You have done what you said you were going to do. My husband didn't stop my blessing. My complaining didn't stop my blessing.
Nope.
Come on. My inability, my lack of finances. You did what you said you were going to do.
Yes.
Let me just pull all this in, lift up my hands, release a praise, and stop being foolish. Because he's good. He's faithful. And gratitude, it'll shift the atmosphere. It'll change how you see things. It'll change how you move. You know, you can't, if you let disappointment still rob you of gratitude, that one moment, it could be in the grocery store, the library, the license branch, where the intersections of your blessing were destined to meet. And because you're in this funk with a negative attitude and you're lacking gratitude, you looking down when you should have been looking up, and the person with your blessing is standing right in front of you. So you got to keep the energy high so you can draw from the universe the blessings that God has set up for you to have. But being unthankful and ungrateful to where you are and the potential of where you could be, it can slow down what God's trying to do. So for me, that's my secret weapon. When
Yeah.
I start getting low and thinking it's taking longer than what it should, I just lift up my hands and start releasing the praise, because I know that's the shift. That's the one that'll change it.
Now that's a way to end, if anything, that's a way to end the program. Right, with gratitude, being grateful.
Yes.
Wow, Dora, this has been amazing. I
Oh,
just don't
thank
want to
you.
stop, but I know that we have put a lot on their plates for
Oh, we
such a
have.
short time. But I tell you, ladies, whenever you see that flyer go up and you see that she's going to be available on Zoom, you don't want to miss your space and jump right in. We're going to put all of her information. Where can they, how can they follow you on Facebook?
They can follow me, Dora Sanders Hill, on Facebook. They can follow me, The Sanctuary, on Huron River, Flat Rock. And if you Google The Sanctuary on Huron River, Flat Rock, we are the only ones that will come up, the first one, I should say. And if you Google Bed and Breakfast in Flat Rock, we are the ones that are going to come up first.
We definitely want people to start. I mean, I know you're booked. I tried to go on and get a couple of days. I think it was in October or November. I can't remember. And you were booked. So I said, I'll just keep on trying. But listen, I want to just tell the audience, please send Dora some love.
Oh, I need
friend
it.
her on Facebook, Mama
Thank you
Dora.
so
All of that's out there. We're going to leave it in the description so you can follow her. Let me tell you, this lady makes the meanest pound cake with caramel icing I've ever tasted in my life. And she won't be in Indianapolis this year, but I'm telling you, these products are going to be in your stores soon. Prophetically, I'm speaking that.
Yes, I receive it.
That it's going to be, we're going to go to Walmart and we're going to see Mama Dora in there. And we're going to be able to buy her right off the shelf. So Dora, just thank you so much for saying yes to this program. And I thank you so much for sharing with us your heart and your experiences. And we're not going to let this stop here. We're gonna create something, a space for you, so that you can come and you can
thank you. I would love that.
that will even take the ladies to a greater level. So at the end of this program, I'm gonna look for everybody to, as you click off, you're gonna go to Dora Sanders Hill. You're gonna friend her, tell her that you saw her on Let's Talk About It with Harvest Girls International. And as we say at Harvest Girls International, transformation begins with you. Yes. And we'll see you real soon. Have faith, be blessed. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Thank you so much.